What I really got excited about was learning about Jo Hopper and her role. I actually didn't know that she herself was a painter, and learning that she was a painter and that she did so much that that made us aware of who Edward Hopper was and made us aware of his work. She really did a lot for his career, and so learning about her was just really wonderful.
Well, I love coordinating things, so this is my first show of this size, and I was just really excited about all the parts and pieces that go together to make the show, and then also how flexible we all have to be, and especially for this show because it was during a pandemic. So that's what got me really excited. I love the challenges of problem solving and the extra kind of problems that we had to solve for the show.
I guess for me, I would go to Marjorie Hillis. I am embarrassed to say that I never had heard of her before this show, which now seems ridiculous, and I highly recommend that you look her up if you haven't heard of her either. But she wrote a book in 1939 called Fair or No Fair for the female traveler considering coming to New York to possibly see the World's Fair. And it was the source material that we used for the personal story on women travelers. She's most famous for her earlier best-selling book, Live Alone and Like It, and she's often credited with sort of redefining the way our country looked at single women and women living alone.
I started working at Newfields right in the middle of the Hopper exhibition, so I'd have to say one of the most exciting things I learned about were my colleagues. I learned how amazingly creative they are, how intelligent they are. And then when we went through the pandemic together and had to tag team some solutions to various adaptations, and we had to make various adaptations, I learned how they handled difficult situations with such grace and creativity.
So I think one of the things that I learned is that Hopper used a lot of color. You know, you always kind of see like reproductions of his work in textbooks, and they're always really dark and drab. And then being in the space as everything was kind of being put in, and like the paint colors were going up, you just saw how his paintings like sing. Like he used like crazy amounts of like green and teals, and it was something that I wasn't expecting.
The color, and I know everybody's saying that, but you know, I worked on this exhibition as a checklist and looking at the catalogs and looking at the web pages for these pieces because they were originally organized by the other museum. And so when I finally got to go to Virginia and see these pieces in person, it was mind-blowing. Everything looked slightly differently than I thought it did. And it really changes the spirit of Edward Hopper paintings to see that that's, you know, the corals and the greens are just so vibrant. It really, I'm getting excited just thinking about it all over again.